All right, let's see here. Let's see. All right, let me send out this link. That is wow. New link. Hey, let's see here. Who's in the room? I see you. I see you. Let me see. I don't see your name, but I do see you. New stream, new link to screen. All right. Okay. I see 3. All right. Hey, guess what? I always said if I got one Vesta, I got a full room. So let me go ahead and tell you exactly what's been on my mind. And to all of my Vestas, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sticking in there with me when I'm on travel and everything. But you know, hey, I got to do what I got to do. Hey, what's up, Mr. Wayne Williams? Hey, good morning. Hey, yeah, make sure you get your vest because it's going to get cold in Georgia and Texas and everywhere else, wherever you are. All right. So hopefully my Vestas catch me at this live right here. Let's see here. Hold on, let me post something real quick. All right, let me wait on one Vesta because I know they got to get the new link. Click on the new link, and then we're going to begin this show. Let's see here. And I know it is a Friday, and I'm not going to take your time because I know we on lunch period at the moment. All right, so let's talk about it. So it's one thing I want to bring up, and y'all know we have a lot of topics to talk about because so much has happened in this week. Of course, you know Monken has been hired as the Cleveland Browns head coach. Now that we put that to the side, now it's time to focus on the offense. And before I started this live, the Cleveland Browns have hired their new OC. His name is Travis Switzer, and he's also coming from the Baltimore Ravens. So the same thing that I predicted for John Harbaugh to do once he got to the New York Giants, I had said that John Harbaugh's goal was to pillar the Baltimore Ravens, take everyone that he wanted from that offensive side, that coaching staff, take them directly to the New York Giants. Well, John Harbaugh has not done that yet. Todd Monken now has also acquired George Warhop and also acquired the new OC from the Baltimore Ravens named Travis Switzer. So actually, Todd is the one that is pillaging the Baltimore Ravens. So the new Cleveland Browns is in Atlanta, Georgia with the Falcons because Kevin Stefanski has taken all that he can from the Cleveland. And Todd Monken has went to Baltimore Ravens, and Baltimore Ravens is now the new Cleveland. So there's a lot going on. So Monken, so let's talk about Monken. Of course, I was eyeing, if you watch my videos, I was eyeing John Harbaugh to take the place as the head coach. I knew for sure that the Baltimore Ravens wanted to draft Shedeur Sanders last year. Of course, I did not consider the OC. Of course, the OC wanted to draft Shedeur Sanders too. But John Harbaugh was my pick because he had head coaching experience. Okay. But if I can't have the big fish, I'll definitely be okay with Todd Monken being the head coach. And that's who exactly Andrew Berry chose. Now, Monken does have history with the Cleveland Browns. I didn't know that Monken was already the head coach in 2019 with the Cleveland Browns. I didn't know that. And they actually average about 20 to 21 points per game. The only issue is the reason why he didn't stay. There was a head coach by the name of Freddie Kitchens who he had a very, very bad relationship with. Freddie Kitchens would not allow Todd Monken to call plays. So Todd Monken, I heard it was a very bad relationship. He was even telling opposing teams, hey, the Cleveland Browns is dysfunctional. That is a title that the Cleveland Browns have had for the last 2 or 3 decades. So, hey, so this is a new era. The reason why I called this live, this is a new era. We got the new quarterback, Shedeur Sanders. We got Todd Monken that's coming in. He's not a Kevin Stefanski. He's definitely not a Kevin Stefanski. We got a new OC coming in. We got someone that's very familiar with what a Super Bowl caliber, I'm going to say Super Bowl caliber, O-line should be, and that's in George Warhop. So, hey, as of now, I like what the Cleveland Browns have done. I like what Andrew Berry has done. I'm glad that he stayed. And if you didn't see that video about the relationship that Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry had, and they got hired 14 days after each other. They had a very close relationship before they got to the Browns. So that's why a lot of people in Cleveland thought when Kevin Stefanski was going to leave Cleveland Browns, Andrew Berry was going to follow him. That was the case. That wasn't the case, as we know. And I'm pretty sure maybe Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski's relationship is kind of, going through some changes behind the scene, but it is what it is. This is business. This is business. And one thing I do know, the Cleveland Browns, they want to be a high caliber team, and they had to get rid of Kevin Stefanski. Okay, so let's go back to Monken. So Monken, yes, as far as I know of, I looked at his resume. He does not have any head coach experience, but what he does have, he has a winning spirit. The players love him. Okay, he's all about win, win, win. He's coming in with a mindset. It seemed like he builds around the quarterback. Whatever quarterback he's working with, it seemed like he's going to build around that quarterback. And Jameis Winston came out. I want to read this quote that Jameis Winston came out. I think it was last night. It was a quote. He spoke very highly of Todd Monken. And Jameis Winston, he reminds me of Shedeur Sanders. If you're not familiar with Jameis Winston, he leans heavy on his faith. And that's what I like. He's always talking about God. He's always talking about scripture. And so if Jameis Winston has high regards for Todd Monken, and if Shedeur Sanders loved Todd Monken, Deion Sanders loved Todd Monken, Deion Sanders Jr. loved Todd Monken, guess what? I'm going to love Todd Monken also until I see otherwise. But I really think, and Todd Monken wanted to draft Shedeur Sanders. You can't tell me, even though John Harbaugh was the coach for the Balitmore Ravens, and when they was choosing their picks for the NFL draft, even though we know everybody, at the last minute had to collude against Shedeur Sanders. Even with that collusion, we have to remember it came out, even if it was a collusion not to draft Shedeur Sanders in the first round, the second round, or the third round, the Baltimore Ravens did contact Shedeur Sanders 3 times before Shedeur Sanders got drafted by the Cleveland Browns. So, hey, collusion aside, Harbaugh and Monken still want to draft Shedeur Sanders before the Cleveland got him. Shedeur Sanders is the one that said no. Guess what? It doesn't matter how they got here. Everybody got what they want. Todd Monken's got the quarterback that he wanted, Shedeur Sanders, and Shedeur Sanders got a coach that wants to develop him, and they have a winning spirit. Let me pull up this quote here that Jameis Winston said, and I hope I can find it because I have so many notes. Give me 1 second, but he spoke very highly of Todd Monken. Now, while I'm talking, Todd Monken, also he has, going back to his history, if you haven't watched my last video, Todd Monken gave the University of Georgia 2 championships back-to-back, 2020, 2021, 2022. I didn't know that. Of course, at that time, I was watching the collegiate championships only at the collegiate, championship type of games because that was the only games on the TV. However, I was actually shocked when I found out that Todd Monken was the OC for Georgia. Now, we're going to talk about that later because Todd Monken, I really think that Todd Monken is going to create a pipeline from the University of Georgia to Cleveland. Reason why I said it, guess what wide receiver is due for a contract modification, a second contract, because he's at the end of his rookie contract that has played for Todd Monken and who the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, is trying to re-sign? George Pickens. George Pickens played with Todd Monken at the University of Georgia. So Andrew Berry, I know you're probably in this room. You're probably in the account that I have not recognized, but Andrew Berry, listen, undrafted free agent, that opens up March the 9th. Early negotiations is March the 9th. You can start signing contracts March the 11th. Now, I don't know if Pickens wants to do that, but Andrew Berry, I hope you're behind the scenes talking to George Pickens now. I really hope that is the case. I hope that's the case. But Todd Monken is, I truly believe, is going to create a pipeline between the University of Georgia and Cleveland Browns. Watch and see now. And then also, we have the 6th pick and the 24th pick of this year, first round. I really think that now that Todd Monken is in the place as the head coach, there is a player by Georgia. He is known as a speed demon. His name is Zachary Branch. Watch and see. If Zachary Branch is not selected, because we definitely need to handle that O-line first for pick number 6. If Zachary Branch is not picked up by number 24 in the draft, Todd Monken is going to draft Zachary Branch. Wait and see. All right, so that's a little bit about Monken. Monken is actually bringing the Baltimore winning blueprint to Cleveland Browns. Now, some of the issues that Todd Monken is going to deal with in Cleveland, of course, he's going to deal with that media. And we're going to talk about that media. The media is still tearing down Shedeur Sanders. They're still tearing down Shedeur Sanders. All Shedeur Sanders was in Paris on vacation. The NFL called Shedeur Sanders on vacation, tell him that, hey, you are a Pro Bowl replacement. He gets on the plane, and the next thing you know, hell freezes over. Everybody is mad that Shedeur Sanders was chosen by the NFL as a Pro Bowl replacement. Now, what the media is not talking about, why the media is not talking about the other 87 players that were chosen during the Pro Bowl. We all know that the Pro Bowl is not what it used to be when I was growing up, because in the Pro Bowl, players used to get hurt even at the Pro Bowl. I mean, they would get very injured during the Pro Bowl. So with that being the case, Shedeur Sanders gets nominated as a Pro Bowl replacement. The world catches on fire, but nobody's talking about Goff. Goff is also a Pro Bowl replacement. He's a veteran quarterback, but nobody's talking about Drake Maye. Drake Maye was also he was chosen last year as a Pro Bowler. I think his stats was worse than Shedeur Sanders' stats last year. Nobody's talking about that, but everybody's jumping on Shedeur Sanders as a Pro Bowl replacement. You know what? Shedeur Sanders has the right attitude. I'm trying to tell you, Shedeur Sanders has a very mature attitude. Shedeur Sanders, he shake that off. Next thing you know, he's flying to the Super Bowls. I cannot believe some of the narratives from football players themselves that have came out and what they've said about Shedeur Sanders because he got the Pro Bowl nod. It was the NFL that chose Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders didn't add himself to the list. The NFL chose Shedeur Sanders as that replacement. So I said, Shedeur Sanders, Godspeed. Godspeed, Shedeur Sanders. But some of these veterans, they're coming out talking about Shedeur Sanders. I know what it is. I know what it is. If you watch some of my videos, it's more spiritual than anything. Shedeur Sanders, from what I know, he hasn't beat up any girlfriend. He doesn't have 10 and 50 million kids running around. He doesn't have any criminal offenses. And he's just too clean. He's just too clean for the NFL. He's too clean for the public. He's too clean for the other side. And with that being said, they have to find something to tear the young man down. But the young man, He's standing 10 toes down. He's holding himself accountable. He's holding his head out. And hey, guess what? We cannot ask for anything better than Shedeur Sanders, the way that he's carrying himself in this situation. So Todd Monken is going to come in. I'm pretty sure Todd Monken spoke to Shedeur Sanders before he even got named the head coach. The Sanders family knew that Todd Monken was going to be the head coach before the public know. Hey, if you don't believe me, go back and watch the timestamps. Go back and watch the timestamps. But with that being the case, Todd Monken, it's going to be a new era in Cleveland. He's going to get Shedeur Sanders. He's going to build around Shedeur Sanders. We just need some wide receivers. I heard that Kevin Stefanski, I don't know if it's a rumor or not, but Kevin Stefanski may trade for Dillon Gabriel. If that's the case, whatever. If that's the case, whatever. Of course, is the Cleveland media has to have something to talk about. Now they're saying they don't know if Shedeur Sanders is going to be QB1, if it's going to be Dillon Gabriel. We're not going through that carousel no more. Todd Monken is going to build around Shedeur Sanders, and that is it. That is exactly what it is. Okay? So let's go ahead and talk about George Warhop. So if you saw my last video, and if you didn't see my last video, George Warhop, when he was at the Baltimore Ravens, he developed and created a team, an offensive line that provided Lamar Jackson to throw for 4,000 passing yards. And they also provided the running backs an opportunity. That line was a fortress. Provided the running back an opportunity to run for 3,000 miles. That was the first time ever in history that happened. So I'm trying to tell you, I can't wait for the new season. I cannot wait for 2026 season to actually start. Even rookie minicamp. I can't wait till the draft start. Of course, I'm going to be at the Combine. I'm going to be watching the Combine. I'm going to be watching potential players that we can pick. I'm going to be watching the rookie. Basically, it's going to be all over again, but this year, that's going to be different. We're going to know that Shedeur Sanders is the starting quarterback. Andrew Berry already said that. The Cleveland media, they just trying to create these narratives just to have something to talk about. But Andrew Berry said that weeks ago, a couple of days after Kevin Stefanski was fired, Shedeur Sanders is the centerpiece. Todd Monken already know that. Cleveland Browns media, they just need to get with it, okay? So I have faith in Todd Monken. I have faith in George Warhop. And now, as I stated earlier, the new Cleveland offensive coordinator, name is Travis Switzer, and Monken has pulled him also from the Baltimore Ravens. So the Baltimore Ravens on a Friday, now they got to look for a head. No, I think they already got the head coach. Now they have to look for a new offensive line coordinator and a new offensive coordinator. It is what it is. And I think Todd Monken may pull some more. He need to pull some of the wide receivers because Jerry Jeudy, I'm going to leave it alone. But George Pickens, as I stated, he did play with Monkens at the University of Georgia. That will be a very nice weapon for Shedeur Sanders to throw down that field. I would love to see that combination. And if we could get George Pickens, that had already had a relationship with Todd Monken, and if we go ahead and get Zachary Branch, that is already a wide receiver from that's currently a wide receiver and has declared for the draft this year from University of Georgia. Hey, I see we have a winning combination. And if George Pickens, if they go ahead and sign with George Pickens, who knows, Shedeur Sanders and George Pickens may already start working together in preseason, building that chemistry. Okay. Let's see here. What else? What is on my list? And this is my thing. Why the Cleveland Browns? I think it's been since the last time they drafted a wide receiver in 2016. That's the last time they drafted a wide receiver in round 1. What team does not draft a wide receiver in round 1? Yeah, I thought everybody does that. Hey, how you doing, Q? I thought everybody does that. But I see that's not the case. Not for the Cleveland Browns. Definitely not for the Cleveland Browns. So the Dog Pound is happy. They already talking about that pipeline from UGA to Cleveland. So, hey, I'm ready to see that happen. So let me get back to this quote that Jameis Winston said about Todd Monkens. I want to pull that up. This says a lot. You can tell a lot about someone by their past employees or past employer. I want to find this quote. Oh, I found it. He spoke very highly of Todd Monken. And from what I'm hearing, Todd Monken, as I state, he builds around the quarterback, and also he's about the player themselves. He builds around the players. He talks to the players. He listens to the players. This is going to be night and day in terms of the Cleveland Browns offense. Kevin Stefanski, we already know what his personality was. I'm not going to drill that into the to the ground. Kevin Stefanski, sayonara. Hey, we're moving on from Kevin Stefanski. But let me read you this quote. Let me read you this quote that Jameis Winston said about Todd Monken. He said, Todd Monken is a very tough, exciting coach that believes in empowering his players. I'm so grateful to see his hard work and dedication pay off with him being the head coach for the Cleveland Browns. One inspirational quote and actually a mentality that coach, he called him Coach Monk, invites our offense to adapt was everything matters. And that obsession over every meeting and every play allows us to have success. With his leadership and passion for every detail will align perfectly with a hungry fan base who loves their team no matter what, and an exciting young roster ready to make a difference in Cleveland. When you have a former player comes out and speak about you like that, I don't care what Emmanuel Acho says. Todd Monken is going to make a difference regarding Shedeur Sanders, that offense, the defense, because he's head coach, management, and everything else. Todd Monken was Winston's first OC when Winston was drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think in 2013. We're talking about 12 years later. You have a player come out of the woodwork, volunteer this quote about Todd Monkens. That says a lot about Todd Monkens. And yeah, I like Todd Monkens for other reasons too. I like the fact that Todd Monkens, hey, how you doing, Evelyn? Hey, I'm doing good. One thing I like about Todd Monken, and I don't want to make this racial, but I do have to say this. It feels good when you have someone that can come in and relate to you, especially as a melanated quarterback. Todd Monken has been associated with Jameis Winston, as we see. He's also been associated with Lamar Jackson. Now, I know this year here, the reason why everybody got it fired because of what happened in the Baltimore Ravens. I got that. Hey, Lamar got hurt. I understand a lot of people blamed it on the O-line. The O-line coordinator was George Warhop, who has come to the Cleveland Browns. I got that. Things happen. But if we're going to take the good, I'm going to say we're going to take the bad, we definitely got to take the good. The good is, before this year, the Baltimore Ravens in the last 3 years was a Super Bowl caliber team. Lamar Jackson won MVP twice with Todd Monkens and George Warhol. And I understand life is not perfect. Hey, they're not perfect coaches, but if we're gonna highlight the bad, we also got to highlight the good. Lamar Jackson looked like a Super Bowl caliber quarterback, and I think he still is a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. This year, hey, everybody was just injury prone. So no matter what, and do you know that Emmanuel Acho had the nerve to go online on his podcast, Speakeasy, and tell Shedeur Sanders, don't listen to nothing that Todd Monken says? Emmanuel Acho, out of all the critics that have criticized Shedeur Sanders this whole year, called him arrogant, called him everything really except for a child of God, even questioned if he was going to be successful without his father, being on the coaching staff. His advice to Shedeur Sanders was to don't listen to what Todd Monken has, because Todd Monken is just a Band-Aid over, I forgot whatever sentence he said. And everybody's been eating Emmanuel Acho up. So it's two things. I want to highlight that for two reasons. I did a video 10 days ago about Emmanuel Acho, and I exposed the reason why Emmanuel Acho says what he says. Emmanuel Acho is saying these type of things because he's still auditioning for a higher seat or a hidden seat somewhere in the NFL. He has a goal to get somewhere, so he's still saying these things. And as you know, he was very close to Kevin Stefanski. He was very close to Kevin Stefanski, but he's trying to prove himself to someone higher up. So I get that. But to tell Shedeur Sanders not to listen to your new head coach, what kind of guidance was to give Shedeur Sanders? What kind of guidance to give that to anybody? You wouldn't even tell a high school student not to listen to their head coach. But you give that advice, Emmanuel Acho, to tell Shedeur Sanders not to listen to his head coach. Are you that connected to Kevin Stefanski? Do y'all roots go so deep that you would give that advice to Shedeur Sanders? And of course, Shedeur Sanders is not going to listen to that type of rhetoric or stupid advice. But to say that to a young man, to any player, don't listen to the head coach because Todd Monken has never been a head coach. Well, let me tell you something. Kevin Stefanski, before the job at Cleveland, wasn't even a head coach. But everybody, put Kevin Stefanski on a pillar because of his last name and because of who he was associated with and because who his father was in Pennsylvania. Oh, well, let's go back to that, the Pennsylvania factor. Yeah, it's a reason why Kevin Stefanski was the Atlanta Falcons' first interview. You know, he was the first candidate that interviewed. It was a reason. You know what that reason was? Kevin Stefanski has ties to Pennsylvania. Matt Ryan has ties to Pennsylvania. I didn't know this, but Kevin Stefanski was a well-known Catholic high school quarterback or collegiate quarterback. You know, I guess in the Catholic region, high school. You know, whatever you call the region. Well, guess who also was playing in that same division, that same region? Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan used to look up to Kevin Stefanski because when Matt Ryan came in to become the quarterback for his high school, Kevin Stefanski was already a senior, high school or college. I can't remember what it was. But Matt Ryan used to look up to Kevin Stefanski as a hero. So when Kevin Stefanski got hired, of course, Matt Ryan, someone that he idolized, was going to, hey, Kevin Stefanski, come over here. We'll give you an interview. And all the details that came out about the way that, Arthur Blank invited Kevin Stefanski over his house and cooked the steaks himself. And he basically just got on his knees and told Kevin Stefanski directly that he was hired. Yeah, that was deeper than, that was deeper than, I bet this thing go deep. This thing goes deep. A lot of people, my girl, what she said, sports. Yeah, I truly believe it's like a lot of people. Kevin Stefanski, the way that he treated Shedeur Sanders, yeah, he has been awarded that job for the Atlanta Falcons. And Micah Irvin, I went on his live last night and I called just a little bit just to hear that, Kevin Stefanski, for him to say Kevin Stefanski is going to be, successful in Atlanta. He has a lot of weapons. He basically said that Kevin Stefanski is walking into heaven because of the weapons that the Atlanta Falcons have. And I could see that. I could see that. I attended the game. I could see that. And from what I also gathered, I think it came out this morning that Kirk Cousins is going to be released. So I guess Kevin Stefanski is cutting Kirk Cousins for Dillon Gabriel. And if that happens, make sure you remember that Tony Talks Vested Up said that. But Kirk Cousins, I think, is about to get released. And if that's the case, that rumor about Kevin Stefanski pulling in Dillon Gabriel to Atlanta, that could be true if that's the case. But Kevin Stefanski, Kevin Stefanski needs to have a different mindset when he walk into the Mercedes-Benz Stadium because Atlanta is a totally different atmosphere. And if he's bringing Dillon Gabriel there, they better come winning outside of the gate to erase. And I don't think you can, no. Nobody's not going to forget what Kevin Stefanski did to Shedeur Sanders. Never. But he better have a different mindset when he comes to Atlanta because Atlanta is a different breed. That fan base is not going to allow Kevin Stefanski to do that to Penix, who hopefully is the quarterback coming up this year, and to, you know, any other black player on that team. But everybody, and even myself, I will be watching the Atlanta Falcons just to make sure Kevin Stefanski isn't pulling what he pulled with Shedeur Sanders. Because as I stated in a lot of my videos, especially after Shedeur Sanders started playing, Shedeur Sanders has activated the community. And I stand up for Shedeur Sanders, but I'm also going to stand up for any other player that I see deemed as being misused by any team in the NFL, all 32 teams. Even if Todd Monken comes over here and start doing some stuff to Shedeur Sanders or any other player, hey, y'all know how to, hey, we know how to get activated again. We know how to get activated again. But that relationship that Kevin Stefanski has with Matt Ryan's, hey, all Matt Ryan needed to know was Kevin Stefanski was going to get fired. And then he was going to be the head coach. I mean, I think Kevin Stefanski was hired by the Atlanta Falcons before John Harbaugh, a highly well-known winning coach, was hired to the Giants. I think Kevin Stefanski was hired before John Harbaugh. So we already know something in the milk wasn't clean. But hey, that's Atlanta's, you know, headache. They got to deal with that situation. So we're going to move forward. But I'm very happy for Shedeur Sanders. I'm happy for that Pro Bowl nod. So remember, if anybody, you watch any other live, right? Okay, it's 31 minutes and 25 seconds. I'm only going to hold you about 10 more minutes. If anyone in any chat, in any platform, they love to throw up that Shedeur Sanders is not worthy of the Pro Bowl nod, hey, make sure you just throw two names out there. Drake May from last year had worse stats than Shedeur Sanders. And you make sure that make sure you put in the chat, Shedeur Sanders is not the only quarterback replacement for this year Pro Bowl. Why no one's talking about Jared Goff? Jared Goff is also the quarterback replacement for, I think his name is Darnold. That's the Seahawks quarterback. Why nobody's talking about that? Why no one is talking about the other 87 players? If they didn't like the fact that Shedeur Sanders is going to the Pro Bowl, go talk about the other 87 players. Even Cleveland media, they actually having aneurysms online because they saying Shedeur Sanders didn't get there by, you know, his plan this year. I beg the difference. Shedeur Sanders was excellent this year with no first team reps, throwing the trash cans and maintenance personnel. Shedeur Sanders, he definitely deserved a nod. They must have forgot that Shedeur Sanders was already what? He was already on the quote, he was already on the list for a Pro Bowl. He was the only rookie on there as a quarterback. In terms of quarterback, Cam Ward wasn't on there. So why are they surprised that Shedeur Sanders is a replacement? But it is what it is. But make sure you throw up Drake May, and you throw up Jared Goff, because Jared Goff is definitely a quarterback replacement for the NFC. And if they don't want to talk about Shedeur Sanders, go ahead and talk about the 87 players, including Myles Garrett. Why the Cleveland media is not talking about Myles Garrett? Why they're not talking about Denzel Ward if they don't want to talk about Shedeur Sanders? Hey, but it is what it is. So yeah. But hey, that is what's going on in Cleveland. So I've talked about Monkens. I like that pick. Monkens got to deal with the Cleveland media, but taking into consideration that he was there in Cleveland before in 2019, he's probably already know the media, the beat writers, and everybody. He's used to the noise. He's used to media. I like that pick. I like Todd Monkens for that also. He's already familiar with the crazy media, okay? Yeah, he left wrong, but guess what? Andrew Berry saw what he liked in them. Hey, Miss Sparks, let me tell you one thing. I don't know. I got to figure out this YouTube thing. I had this live set up a whole 12 hours ago. I go to click on the link, and YouTube will not allow me in my own link. So I'm sorry, but I'm going to try to get it right. Before the Pro Bowl. I just got to figure that out. This YouTube thing, they just allowed me, you know, as of now, I'm considered an experimental channel. So some of the functions are not working, but I'm happy they allow me to do this live and talk to my investors. So welcome everybody that was able to, yes, Come to find out, the reason why I'm not getting discovered by other investors, other potential viewers, because they have me in a sandbox because they're trying to figure out if I'm safe content. Yes. So we'll talk about that later after at the end of the live. Yeah, they trying to figure out if I'm safe content, whatever that means. Because remember, I was a faceless channel, then I became faceless to show that I'm a human, not AI. And now they have to grade me to see if I'm safe content. So it is what it is. I'll put a post out there so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm an experimental channel right now for some reason. But I like Monken for that. The Baltimore Blueprint. I love that. I love that. I love that. Hey, Miss Sparks and anybody else, if I don't see you, just to let you know that the new OC for the Cleveland Browns is Travis Switzer, and he came from the Baltimore Ravens. So Todd Monken said went to Baltimore and cleaned house. No wonder. No. Hey, no, you good. Yeah, that's why that's why AI and the algorithm is doing something in the back. You good. So the Baltimore Ravens. So I really thought John Harbaugh was going to pillar the Baltimore Ravens. No, Todd Monken is pillaring the Baltimore Ravens, and I love it. I love it. I hope he's able to pull over LaJohntay Wester from the Baltimore Ravens as a wide receiver. Even if it's a wide receiver 3 or 4, we need LaJohntay Wester to be a Cleveland Browns with Shedeur Sanders as that comfort. Because LaJohntay Wester, even though he doesn't have the height, he has that dog in him. And LaJohntay Wester can definitely play slot wide receiver. The same way that the Panthers was underutilizing Jimmy Horn. Let's put that out there. Underutilizing Jimmy Horn. But if Todd Monken, I may contact him on X, pull over LaJohntay Wester, trade for him, or whatever the case may be. Go ahead, Shedeur Sanders. Go ahead and tell Todd Monken to work out a deal for LaJohntay Wester. I would love that. I would love that. Oh, let me get back on track. But yeah, Monken, I love it. Warhop, I love it. He's gonna bring it. I think he's already working behind the scenes. As you know, Monken has the connection, the pipeline, already has the connection with the University of Georgia. I love it. You know he's already talking to some of those O-line members. I love it. What else? The dog pound is happy. We are the new Cleveland. All right, Zachary Branch from the University of Georgia wide receiver has already declared for the NFL draft. We need to pick him up too. And who else? Oh, let's talk about Jim. There's 2 people I want to talk about before I end this, because I only want to go 45 minutes and only got 5 or 7 more minutes, unless y'all want to. Sorry about the OC. So let's talk about Jim Schwartz. Look, I know Jim feelings may be hurt, okay, because he didn't get selected as the head coach. You know, I understand. But Jim has to understand the Cleveland Browns need someone to come in with a winning mindset already, okay? A defensive coordinator is totally different from an offensive coordinator. We already know that. That's rudimentary, okay? But Jim, for you to step down, for you to quit the Cleveland Browns because they didn't choose you as head coach, you have no head coach experience, Jim. You have no offense. I know the head coach supposed to, just oversee everything, input here and there and let the OC do what the OC needs to do. DC needs to do what the DC needs to do. But Jim, you were more valued and needed in that DC role. I don't understand why his feelings was hurt. I also don't understand Nate Shellhouse. I really thought Nate Shellhouse, I really thought that Nate Shellhouse was actually was going to get the job before Monken was identified as the head coach. The reason why I say that, out of all the candidates, out of having all the candidates write essays and provide them homework tasks and stuff, I mean, even I kind of like Big, so who you talking to, Cleveland? I'm a head coach. I'm not going through, writing essays and so personality tests. Yeah, I can get that. Even the military give you personality tests. I understand. Hey, I understand that you need to know who you're dealing with, and the way that people answer questions tells a lot about you. I totally understand that. You need to know about personalities and conflicts. That I could see. I could see, but written essays and homework assignment, I didn't agree with that. And these head coaches are looking for a team that wants them. I'm not doing homework assignments and written essays. But when it came to Nate, out of all the candidates, the Cleveland Browns took their own plane to California, LA, to talk to Nate. I said, ooh, they really want Nate. They wanted Nate. And it seemed like Nate wanted the Cleveland Browns. They took their plane. That's the only candidate that didn't have to come to Cleveland. Cleveland came to them, came to Nate. So I just thought it was just a done deal. I really thought that they was putting up these hurdles because they really wanted Nate, and they probably did want Nate. Some sources said that Nate was top candidate. Other sources say that Nate wasn't. But for Nate, and Nate talked to them 7 hours in the conference room doing the interview. I heard they all stayed together in the same place trying to get Nate to sign the contract, So it's life lessons in this, okay? It's life lessons in this. But Nate iced them out. So maybe the Rams was talking to Nate in the background. Hey, don't leave. We'll give you whatever you want. Maybe Nate was considering them. But still, Nate wanted that head coaching job. And as of now, I think Nate is still on the staff of the LA Rams. But for Cleveland to actually fly to LA, basically waiting on him to lose a game, or you basically lose a game because he couldn't talk to him. They couldn't talk to him, until he got out of the playoffs. That said a lot about the Cleveland Browns. Then, of course, Nate didn't sign, so Todd Monken. Now, life lessons in this. And I want this to come out right. Don't overlook or don't take for granted someone that is in your life that wants to be in your life that's right there. The Cleveland Browns did not have to fly to Monken to Baltimore to talk to him. Monken came there. And that's eventually who they went with. They flew all the way across country to pursue Nate. Gave him all that time, all that resources. I'm pretty good. They treated him right, and Nate iced them out for whatever reason. Never take people for granted. Always look around in your circle or outside of your circle to those that want to be in your life in a chance. Because Shedeur Sanders, he wanted to be that player that Kevin Stefanski wanted. Shedeur Sanders did everything that he could to satisfy Kevin Stefanski, and Kevin Stefanski still dogged him out. So, investors and viewers, always look around for those people that want to be in your life for the right reasons, especially if they put in effort to be in your life. And guess what? Hey, I'm talking to myself. Trust me, I'm talking to myself. The Cleveland Browns flew across country to pursue Nate. Spent 7 hours, and he iced them out. I wonder why. And maybe, they wanted to sit on Monken because of the history they did have with Monken that 1 year. Because Monken did throw, let's be honest, Monken did throw some, sugar iced tea on the Browns when he was there for that 1 year. But that's because he had an issue with the head coach, Freddie Kitchens, who would not allow him to play to call plays for that year. So, hey, this whole thing, hey, that's why I like talking about God, faith, and football on my channel, because even though it's football, there's so many life lessons in football. All right. I heard they did 7. That's right. And had the country. Oh, Jimmy pulled it back. Oh, Jimmy pulled it back. That's interesting. But you know what? Jimmy probably pulled it back. You know what? After 7 hours, being on interview boards myself, after 7 hours, if I can't get you to sign a contract after 7 hours and I'm giving you the red carpet, I'm rolling out the red carpet, I have took my private jet to fly to you, giving you 7 hours of my time. I know they treated him good. I would, hey, after 7 hours, I'll pull back too. Hey, so Jimmy, hey, at least Jimmy came in there. Hey, Jimmy said, you know what? Hey, it is what it is. Okay, Nate, we'll see you later. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So why ice him out and for 7 hours? I mean, really, I'm pretty sure they gave him a nice offer. But for Jimmy and Andrew Berry to pursue Nate for 7 hours, flying to him, come on, Nate, come on. Hey, if Jimmy pulled it back, hey, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. All right, this is 45 minutes. I don't want to take any of your time. Anybody want to put any comments in the heartbreaking? Yeah, I know. I just knew that Nate was going to be the head coach, even on my thumbnails. Sometimes I position my thumbnails in a certain way based off the energy that I'm feeling. And remember, I had Nate over there on the side. I just knew that Nate was going to be the head coach, but guess not. 7 hours of interview and Nate still wouldn't sign. What does a person have to do in order to show, hey, I want you, but you know, hey, so much pursuing you can do. And if a person, hell, I'm Jimmy too. I'm a billionaire. I'm gonna let you know I want you. I'm gonna tell you I want you. I'm gonna show that I want you. I mean, I'm gonna roll out the red carpet. But me as a billionaire and anybody that values their time, it's only but so far. I'm gonna draw a line, and maybe 7 hours was enough for Jimmy to say, "Hey, you know what? Hey, hey Nate. Hey, nice meeting you. Hey, keep all the gifts and everything. Hey, get back with us whenever you make your mind up." At the same time, probably when they was on that plane. Hey, Monken. Hey, you want this job? Let's talk. Done deal. Done deal. Oh, I'm Jimmy Haslem. I got Shedeur Sanders. I know what I want. Hey, I'm hearing Jimmy had to go in his own pocket. Jimmy pulling money out of his own pocket to get this coaching staff right and to get the next dynasty. Because remember, I said Jerry Jones was jealous of Cleveland this whole entire year because Cleveland was wrapping up all of the highlights in the news outlets. Jerry Jones was bitter this year. So Jerry sees. Hey, guess what? Remember in one of my early videos, it ain't nothing like new money. Jimmy, he's a billionaire, but he was looking at that nouveau riche. He saw what Shedeur Sanders undid already. What? Nate, what do you want? I'm going to give it to you. But as a billionaire, oh no, I'm only going. He should be lucky he got 7 hours. He should be lucky he got 7 hours. And okay, you still don't want to sign this? Oh, you sure? It ain't nothing with. You'll call me back? Oh yeah, sure, Nate. Sure. Well, you got our number. You know, our contact. Hey, you even got my phone number on the plane. Call me. Okay, Nate. Talk to you later. Hey, driver, get Monken on the phone. Hey, y'all got me cutting up today. What? I'm a billionaire. I value you as a coach, as a potential candidate. That's why I flew to LA to seek you out, to show you how interested I am. But this ain't good enough for you. Hey, yeah, I know. I got over here in Cleveland is a mess. I understand. But I'm trying to get it right. I'm trying to build it from the ground right. I fired Kevin Stefanski. So, hey, I'm in it to win it. Just tell me what you want. But Nate, you throw stand. Okay, bad. All right. So I'm gonna let it go. But yeah, no, Nate. Anybody got any other questions? Because I don't want to hold up your time. It's already 49 minutes, and I wanted to be here 45 minutes. So I think it was Nate. Yeah, but Todd Monken pillaging. He's pillaging the Balitmore Ravens. And hey, if you're new here at Tony Talks Vested Up, this is just one of my third lives ever. Hey, if you're new here, hey, subscribe. Trust me, if I didn't say anything today that caught your attention, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some videos in the past and videos in the future that you're gonna like. So hey, don't miss out. Just go ahead and subscribe and like the video, please. If you're on your mobile device, just double click the screen, because guess what? I've given a lot of love to a lot of podcasters. So if you here, please just like that button. That's all I ask. But hey, investors and viewers, I'm excited for this year. Shedeur Sanders. I want to leave you on this note. So let's go back to this. Let's go back to this Pro Bowl. Shedeur Sanders. Why is everybody mad? And I'm sorry. Why is everybody mad at Shedeur Sanders? The NFL chose Shedeur Sanders for whatever reasons. I don't care if it was marketing, because guess what? Now that Shedeur Sanders is at the Pro Bowl, everybody that's tuning in. The Super Bowl, the Pro Bowl this weekend, the Super Bowl next week. The NFL is all about making money and keeping our attention. And I haven't watched a Pro Bowl, to be honest, in about 10 or 15 years, because it became brutal. So I understand why the Pro Bowl is not the way that it was before, because them players was getting hurt in the Pro Bowl. That's supposed to be a fun game, you know. So now flag football, I don't care if Shedeur Sanders is out there flag football. I don't care if it's a potato sack hop. If the Pro Bowl becomes a potato sack hop, Shedeur Sanders is a Pro Bowl. And everybody that had an issue with it, they need to file a complaint with the NFL. Leave Shedeur Sanders alone. Leave this young man alone. Let him pursue his dreams. Everybody that's talking reckless about Shedeur Sanders, if they don't have kids, they have young nieces and nephews that have goals and aspirations of their own. They don't know that karma is going to come back to them. I don't care if it is their job to be an NFL analyst, to critique players. If that's your job, that's your job. But there is a line that you don't cross, and you don't make things personal. And from what I gathered, Shedeur Sanders has never done nothing wrong to anyone. But I mean, this thing burns me up. But they have an issue with Shedeur Sanders. I don't care. Let them have an issue with Shedeur Sanders being a Pro Bowler. He's a Pro Bowler, and he's going down in history. And I did check the history books. He is the first 5th round rookie quarterback in history to be a first bowler the first year. So there you go. To all the Shedeur Sanders hater, he's going down in history for something else you didn't see coming. And Shedeur Sanders was on vacation when he got the nod. So look at God. Look at God. Look at God. Okay, you too. Okay, but look what, yeah, I heard they had a problem. I don't understand what the issue was with Jim. Is okay. Jim is okay. Hey, as I said, as I already contacted Andrew Berry, if Jim wants to leave, go out and ping Brian Flores as a potential new DC. That's all they got to do. That's all they got to do. So it's 53 minutes. I don't want to hold you. I know everybody's on a lunch period, but thank you for attending Tony Talks Vested Up. Hey, investors, you know what to do until next time. Make sure you get your notes, your drink, and your vest, because we vested up. All right, investors. Hey, thank you for finding me. Hey, I'm gonna figure out this YouTube live link thing eventually one day. But hey, if you want to stay on, I'll stay a little bit longer if anybody wants to put anything in the chat. But hey, the official live is over, and I enjoyed myself. I love talking to my investors. I enjoyed myself. Yeah, have a great day. All right, have a great day too. All right, investors. Hey, thank you. I'll wait around another minute. I wonder if Shedeur Sanders is going to have number 12 as a Pro Bowl jersey number. He should. Hey, wouldn't it be funny if Shedeur Sanders get number 2? Wouldn't it be funny if Shedeur Sanders get number 2 jersey? I don't know if Shedeur Sanders would. I don't know if Shedeur Sanders would he choose number 2 or would he choose number 12? I don't know, but it'd be funny to see what his jersey number is. Oh, and guess what? Josh Allen. I saw that Josh Allen is on crutches, and he has a boot on his leg. And you know, it's only Shedeur Sanders and who is the other gentleman? Justin Herbert. There's only 3 quarterbacks on AFC and also the NFC AFC is Josh Allen. He's in boots and on crushes. And they got Justin Herbert. And then Shedeur Sanders. It's only two. It's only two. Well, you see what he Okay. I ain't see that yet, but I'll check it out. And then the three quarterbacks for the NFC is Stafford, Dak, and Goff. Hey, investors, don't forget, Goff is also a quarterback replacement. So in the next 48 hours, anybody that has an issue with Shedeur Sanders being a Pro Bowl replacement, make sure you throw out that Goff is also a quarterback replacement. I don't care if he's a veteran. His stats weren't that good this year. I mean, he was okay, but his stats weren't better than Shedeur Sanders based off the situation and all the situation that Shedeur Sanders had to go through. So they can go somewhere with that. But didn't I say, and Miss Sparks, I know you remember that video. Didn't I say if the Pro Bowl let Shedeur Sanders start this year, it will put Twitter on fire? And with Josh Allen walking in wherever he was for a press conference this morning, when I saw Josh Allen on crutches and in a boot, I said, I said, hey, did I speak something into existence? And Justin Herbert, I think he's a veteran. Shedeur Sanders, out of all six quarterbacks, is the youngest one. On average, between all six of these quarterbacks, they average about the age of 33, 34 years old. Shedeur Sanders is the youngest quarterback. Wouldn't it be something if Herbert said, go ahead, Shedeur, you go ahead and start. You go ahead and start. Go ahead and start, rookie. That would throw... I'm sorry. That would throw Twitter on his back, and I would be here for it. I would definitely be here for it. So, you know what? Everybody, let's go to all the social platforms. Let's go to, especially Twitter or X, and put out there, hey, start Shedeur Sanders for the AFC. Start Shedeur Sanders, and Twitter will be on fire this weekend. They already being burnt down because Shedeur Sanders is even, on the roster. But if they start Shedeur Sanders, that would be music to my ears and to my eyes. I would love it. Well, hey, investors, I love you. Okay, I love y'all too. Okay, I'll stay here. I will stay here another 5 minutes, investors. Okay. Oh, okay, investors. Okay. But I would love to see what Shedeur Sanders' number is for the Pro Bowl. Yeah. This weekend is going to be very interesting. And Emmanuel Acho. Hey, but guess what? I've let that go. Emmanuel Acho, I've said my piece. What I had to say my piece on Emmanuel Acho. I see his angle. I hate what he's doing. Acho is really selling his soul. For whatever position. Oh, did you hear that Asante Samuels has exposed Emmanuel Acho? That channel, Speak Easy, is not Emmanuel Acho's, in a sense. That's still coming out. That's not Emmanuel Acho's channel. So that even furthers what I said about 10 days ago. Emmanuel Acho is doing the dirty work for someone else. And if Emmanuel Acho is not the owner of Speak Easy, that explains everything. That explains everything. That explains everything. That explains everything. And if you didn't watch that video, hold on. I got an insert that I did. It's a very small clip. I want to play that for you, and then I'm going to let y'all go, investors, because I really enjoyed myself. Yes, it does. Let me see here. Let me find that little clip. What I said about Acho. Oh, here you go. Here you go. Snippet. All right. Thank you for attending Tony Talks Vested Up. So you already know, hey, I said if I only get one investor, we got a full house. So we officially have a full house now, investor. All right. So you know what I want to talk about today? There's so much information that came out today. It is ridiculous. I could not fit everything into this video. John Harbaugh. Hold Hold on. That's the wrong video. Hold on. Here's this right here. Here it is. Let me speed this up. This contract will be on. Go so hard for Kevin Stefanski. Cleveland Browns go ahead and give you a percentage of the money they saved off of Kevin Stefanski's contract. Emmanuel Acho. So let's talk about Emmanuel Acho. Emmanuel Acho. Go so hard for Kevin Stefanski. It's not really because of Kevin Stefanski. As of now, Kevin Stefanski has stated that the Cleveland Browns are going to realize the bad decision that they made. This is what I've learned with Acho. Acho, when he's speaking, we think that he's speaking on the surface level. Acho, Emmanuel, bad decision that they made, he's talking about behind the scenes stuff. What I'm alluding to, what I'm getting at, it's not to protect Kevin Stefanski in a way. Let's say in a way, maybe 2 or 3%, 10%. But no, Emmanuel Acho has already stated he don't want to be on TV all of his life. He don't want to be doing podcasts. Emmanuel Acho, come closer to the camera. Emmanuel Acho wants to be one of the big boys sitting at the table. So the way that he's coming from Kevin Stefanski, he's doing that to show CEOs and everybody else regarding the Cleveland Browns and the 31 other teams. Emmanuel Acho is saying all of these things to send them dog whistles to let them know, hey, I got you. I'm not going to go against you. You can trust me. Invite me into your hidden circle, and I'm going to do your will. That is Emmanuel Acho's perspective in all of this. Yeah, it may seem like Acho is covering for Kevin Stefanski, but no, Acho's goal is something higher than this. And the only reason he covers for Kevin Stefanski because he has, y'all know that lawsuit that he's a part of. He's covering for someone there. I forgot the gentleman's name, but give me a minute. I'll do a video on that in a couple days. He's helping that gentleman that's in that lawsuit. He's protecting him. He's also protecting his connection with the Cleveland Browns because Acho played for the Cleveland Browns and they quote unquote like Acho. Acho is getting information behind the scenes. And the only reason Acho is saying that Kevin Stefanski should be hired immediately, that frees the Cleveland Browns from paying Kevin Stefanski the remaining $5 million per year that they still owe Kevin Stefanski. So the sooner that Kevin Stefanski is hired, the Cleveland Browns will be able to keep that mark, offset what another team won't give Kevin Stefanski. What do I mean by that? As of now, the Cleveland Browns owe Kevin Stefanski $5 million for the next 3 years. Let's see a team hire him for $12 million. That's $4 million a year. That means the Cleveland Browns will only have to come out of pocket $1 million for the remaining 3 years. The only reason that Emmanuel Acho is pushing for Kevin Stefanski to get hired because he's doing the dirty work for the Cleveland Browns to get Kevin Stefanski hired. This thing is deeper than football. So much stuff has been exposed. And who got hired before John Harbaugh or any other head coach? Who got hired? Kevin Stefanski was the first fired head coach to get a job, if my memory is correct. The Cleveland Browns had to get Kevin Stefanski off their books immediately to free up some cap. Even if it was small cap, $15 million, yeah, overall funds that you could have for a team, yeah, that's small money. But $15 million, it frees up a lot for whatever they need to do with that money behind the scenes. But Kevin Stefanski, all that stuff that he did, and they removed Raheem, oh Lord, what's his name? They fired that coach from Atlanta that had a better record from Kevin Stefanski. They fired him, put Kevin Stefanski in that place for many reasons. As I stated, the ties between Matt Ryan and Kevin Stefanski goes way back 10, 15, 20 years. Okay. And then it frees up money for the cap for the Cleveland Browns and Emmanuel Acho. There's a rumor I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. Emmanuel Acho is now he wants to become part of the Cleveland media, official media. Was that the job he was interviewing for without interviewing for that job on his podcast? You say yes. I agree too, Miss Sparks. Maybe that's what Emmanuel Acho has been doing this whole entire time on Speak Easy. What if the Cleveland Browns is a hidden owner of Speak Easy, which is why most of Emmanuel Acho's content in the last, months have been on Kevin Stefanski, Shedeur Sanders, the Cleveland Browns. Remember after Kevin Stefanski got fired and before he got hired, Emmanuel Acho was on this campaign that, the Cleveland Browns is going to regret what they did to Kevin Stefanski, and Kevin Stefanski has a very elite offensive mind. I think you had put in the chat. Don't do that. Put in the chat that Emmanuel Acho said that Kevin Stefanski had he was a very offensive genius. We didn't see none of that at Cleveland, and he definitely didn't develop no quarterbacks. As I stated earlier, the way that Emmanuel Acho is talking about Todd Monken, that's total BS. Yes, Todd Monken does not have any head coaching experience, but he has a winning resume. If Emmanuel Acho had an issue with Todd Monkens because Todd Monkens don't have any head coach experience, well, Kevin Stefanski didn't have any head coach experience. But as you can see, Emmanuel Acho regarding Kevin Stefanski, Kevin Stefanski could do no wrong. And even when Emmanuel Acho had disagreed with Kevin Stefanski, the way they treated Shedeur Sanders in their locker room, it was less than 24 hours or 48 hours after that, Emmanuel Acho was reneging on everything he said, giving Kevin Stefanski all type of excuses on the reason why he treated Shedeur like that. But it would be something if the Cleveland Browns is a hidden owner of Speak Easy. So why is it rumors out now that Emmanuel Acho might have a job in Cleveland as a media something? I don't know, pundit, I don't know, analyst. Now that would be something if Emmanuel Acho. Okay, we'll let it go. All right, Vesters. Hey, Vesters. I've been on here an hour and 7 minutes and 17 seconds. So, Vesters, hey, thank you so much. Hey, if you haven't catched the live, make sure you go back to live. I dropped a lot of nuggets. I covered Todd Monken. I covered George Warhop. I even covered the pipeline that may be the potential pipeline from UGA, the University of Georgia Bulldogs, to Cleveland, how that may work out in our favor. I also covered what Jameis Winston said about Todd Monken. That quote said everything I needed to say about Todd Monken. Know about Todd Monken. If Jameis Winston felt like that or feels like this regarding Todd Monkens, and Todd Monkens hasn't been his OC in 12, 13, 14 years, that says a lot, okay? So, hey, investors and viewers, I covered a lot in this live. So until then, I'm going to say it one more time. Until then, make sure you get your notes, your drink, and your vest, because we vested up today. All right, investors, have a safe weekend. All right, talk to you later. Let's see here.